Good morning, folks. This is Reverend Joey Manuel, and it's about 7:06 in the morning. I woke up today at 5 o'clock in the morning, 555, doesn't matter, during Virtue wrote the book. But I was inspired to write, and lately on this page, on my YouTube channel or whatever media that we're on, I decided to blog. And I am giving you a new format, and I'm going to read it literally. I wrote it, it just came out. And some people are like a little lazy to read. Not anybody on my page that I know, or so forth. But I'm going to give you some truth because one of the things that came to me this morning was like, whatever happened when New Age was fun? When it meant it's a new age, it's a new era, we looked forward to it, and then now we have a lot of things that we come across that may not be as suitable as not the word suitable, but anyhow, may not be as comfortable. It makes it a little bit more complicated. We have the RMA frequencies. We have the non-GMO to things to follow. Uh, yeah, evolution has followed, and it's good to be healthy, but it's good to not really. How can I say? Try and be a fanatic of anything. That's one thing that my mother taught me. But anyhow, I'm going to read what I wrote to you today because I kind of like blogged, and I encourage you to blog down the road as well. Because I want to read what you have to say. I want to read what you have to smile about. You know, when you smile, it makes you even healthier. Anyhow, my ministry school wasn't as. When I went to ministry school to learn, before that, I started to learn a lot by asking a lot of kinds of people. Anyhow, so I wrote this morning. It's 5:55 a.m. and I'm getting ready to Thrive, which is my, um, you all know Thrive if you've been in my page, my new nutrition system, which helps me get going. And here's my shaker, so forth. But anyhow, that's another story. So today, my blog, I wish you all a good day and respect and honor you. I want to express a non-channeled message because basically, even though we are channeling God every time that we speak and we express ourselves, but let's put the fun in New Age again. For it's a new age, it's time to have fun, to enjoy, and buy some crystals, have fun with them, be in awe to when you attract one. I have far way too many, so now I started to decorate with it. Don't be worried whether you have the right one or the wrong one. Did you put it on the right chakra or the wrong chakra? Remember those days of exploring, and now you feel like you know too much, and then you kind of get addicted to it, like learning that something new, that old medicine is not going to be. You're immune to that placebo effect and so forth. So anyhow, I remember that when we were like have fun, like if you were a child, if you attract something, this secret thing, in other words, like for example the law of attraction, the secret and all that kind of stuff, they came along. It's a beautiful, it's always been around. Don't you remember as a child that you used to look at a catalog and look at things and really want for things, and then eventually you would get them or you would put things together. uh, you know there's such a thing as called faith. What they skipped out of there is the thing that you had to have faith. And this movement was started pretty much in unity before this, and in unity services. Through Myrtle Fillmore and Charles Fillmore, who founded uh, the unity churches around the world. Of course, for non-Christians, based people, even though it's a non-denominational church, it may not seem feasible. But anyhow, so I eventually went to ministry school and I became a reverend, and here I am, a reverend in my kitchen, or wherever I go, there I am. I was also a traveling spa. I do great massages and Reiki and so forth. And the number to reach me for an appointment, as always, is 954-744-0285. But what I offer today is, and I want you to read into the page if you want to. The manuscript is there. The secret came really to confuse us. There's such a thing as faith. The secret is a wonderful tool. Laws of attraction, they do exist. But let's realize that God, who put us in the universe, Jesus, it's not dumb. If we make a mistake and we're not thinking positively all the time, okay, and you know, it doesn't mean that we're not going to manifest it or we're going to delay it or so forth. It just means that we're just going to give, we're just going to feed our, how can I say, our ourselves a little bit of a pity party. And we all get those bad moments. Sure, I have moments where I go back to back with things that have been happening to me. It's been happening all like summer, as a matter of fact. And today, but I'm still making the best of it, just smiling through it and enjoying the time off. And whatever, no matter what you're going through, enjoy what you're going through because it's only temporary and it's only going to be shifted. There's always a co-creator inside of you that is creating for you, and some of the things that you don't really even know that you are, expecting. So keep your thoughts on high, elevate it as best as you can. This is one of the things that I like about that patch that I just put on. It actually doesn't only help you lose weight; it helps the mood, and I found that it works for me. I don't care whether you buy it or not. I have the link, and I get it anyways on a monthly basis. And I eat very healthy, as healthy as I can, and it keeps me going. But I don't want to get off track here. Do what you love, and the money will follow. Anybody, how many people remember that book? That was one of the most oldest book that I can remember in my age group that used to exist, and then now it's become something so spread out, and there's so many different ways of prosperity. Everybody seems to have the answers, 10 ways to do this, 5 ways to do that, and that's all great and good. But what do you feel? What feels true to you? It's very easy to get addicted to a deck of cards, um, to a reader, and so forth. And I love it, and I love readers, and I love everything that has to do with all that kind of stuff. But sometimes it takes time, you know, because you want to confirm. Sometimes it takes time to reflect and make it easy breezy. And have you ever noticed that when we, it's interesting. This is a condition that it came up to me with a friend yesterday. That when we solve, most people solve something, we automatically go into this. How can I say? Because something supposedly went wrong. Okay, we went through it, we mastered it, and then we look for another something else to complain. This I call the Peter Pan syndrome, or the complaining syndrome, or the pity me syndrome. We look for something else to be concerned about. Give yourself some time to heal for whatever it is if you went through a very tumultuous situation. And maintain, your spirit life is a daily way of life, not a forced thing. Uh, God's source is within you during the good times and the bad times. But I want to put the fun in New Age again because this is a New Age and it's supposed to be about fun. It's all about I read about, and to be honest, I'm a channel myself, but I'm kind of like a little bit of tired, and I like to do a variation, a different format of other than saying I am so and so and give you a fancy name. It's already coming through me, and it's coming through you. So I'm sure perhaps may press some buttons here to some people who may be in crisis, and sometimes people when they're in crisis they kind of give up, but it doesn't mean that God has given up on you anyways. You know, there are times where you may feel, nowadays, when something has happened. Uh, we go through a crisis to another. We're either blocked or out of balance, or this chakra's not here, or this chakra's not there. Uh, for Christ's sakes, grab a crystal if you want to and enjoy with it. Put it wherever it goes to. Anyhow, if when you put it on a crystal, it's kind of like when I learned Reiki. They tell you the energy goes directly where you want. So there's a certain positions where you put your hands, but that energy is going to travel. What I do with my crystals nowadays, I used to lay them out, and I still do the formal layout. Great, I can actually do that. And I use my intuition, but I can just throw them on the bed or put them on my nightstand, and they're automatically uh, going to take care of you. It's already near you. And even if you don't have the crystal, print the picture of it, and it doesn't need to be expensive. It's good to attract a certain kind of like crystals and have them around you, but use it as jewelry. Make it practical. I can do a whole crystal layout. I buy 4 of each one and so forth, and I can connect them all and all that kind of stuff. It Now, I remember that most of all what I did before I went to ministry, and I always had a calling. I joined the I went to see the Hare Krishnas. I went to see the Jewish people. I met ministers. Um, we never made excuses like, "Oh, I'm empathic. Oh, I'm psychic. Oh, I'm sensitive to your energy. Karma is a bitch," and then some. It doesn't matter what state, what age you were in. People will still, at times, we all have a little cynical side, myself included. Um, you know, that we might say, okay, we might chastise what we believe, so we need to change it up a little bit. And depending on where the planet is, there's always going to be a planet that's going to be retrograde, that's going to be crossing this one or crossing the other one. I'm not criticizing anything. I'm just making a point. My point is that just to have faith and have fun again. In other words, if you laugh more every day, which we forgot to laugh because there are things happening around the world, one of the things empathy that I want to emphasize is heal the inner child. And if you want, instead of focusing and complaining and feeding that energy of that political figure, whatever organization around the entire world, it's happening. Instead of trying to figure out and busting your brain cells, why don't you send some healing energy to the inner child of that person? Because what I recognize also is that, and I have proven it over and over again, when you hit the inner child of that person in a position of power, you're actually getting rid of the vendetta. Because whatever you may not know or ever find out where their wounds were, but everybody that holds a position holds a personal vendetta, and you want to hit them with a clear, um, to the inner child. Because when you heal the inner child and trust that it's hitting the inner child, so the personal vendetta doesn't hit them anymore. Um, and So basically, I'm pretty much, grateful to don't make it that difficult on yourself. If you want to change something, change it and make the steps. There's no affirmation. They are very powerful. They can heal the smiling, the crystals, all that kind of stuff. Those are creators, assistants, things that help you to get to where you want, but you have to do the physical work and the research. And that's what Google is for. Nowadays, there's moms that are like, I remember like I wrote down something briefly about my mom. She widowed at the age of 39, and something like that. And I lost my dad, of course. And but in her example, she's 92 years old. And my mom had three children. Yeah, sure. And we had the best Christmases ever. And I'm very grateful to her because she told me one time, her father didn't have a faith in anything. He was an atheist. But out of her own birth, she had her faith, and she decided what she believed in. And she told me one day, I remember, she told me, Mickey, that was my nickname. If you pick up a rock and you decide to have faith in that rock, then stick to having faith in that rock, but have faith in something to hold on to. And there was many moments like that, and it strikes me not as a surprise that my mom has lived that long, because um, coming to a country and rewriting your entire story, with having just lost your husband, you have to transform yourself. And she did a very good job without having a chance to even stop and get depressed. Yeah, sure, she had her down days, and she had days where she couldn't sleep. And she took two jobs as a single woman to go ahead and get herself going. Why? Because she didn't want to sit there and listen to my grandmother's pity party. My grandmother had a right to go ahead and also grieve the way she did her son. It's understandable. And I love my grandmother as well. But see, the dynamics is that we all worked as a family, and no matter what we're going through, we. And one thing I said, I'm not afraid. I'm not embarrassed to share any kind of like personal information, um, because it may help somebody out there, or it may help me too, also to feel good at the same time. I may not even know that I'm hurting. Um, so anyhow, all I want to say is basically just bring there are people raising children that are looking at Google, and it's good that we have Google out there to give you the guidelines, and But remember, back in the day, my mom you knew how to raise us without the instruction manual. And yes, you sure take advantage of all these smartphones, all these activities. Nowadays, we don't even remember phone numbers. I've kept my phone number since like 1999, since I got my first cell phone, but I always transfer it so I make sure that I don't forget it. And the funny thing was basically that I came out public, even though I was doing metaphysics and connecting with the masters when I was 20 years old, and I didn't even know. But anyhow, part of you who've read this, remember read this about me and already know me. But we had faith. We didn't have to complain. Yes, it was a different time. But one thing that I want you to know is that basically, for Christ's sake, or for Buddha's sake, for whatever sake, whatever you believe in, I listen to Hinduism, I listen to Judaism, I listen to people, and everybody pretty much gave me the same answer. You gotta connect. Everybody had the same answer. You're the special one, and that's what's been separating us. That's okay. Now, but people don't get it. If every single script or holy book or so forth, Bible, Talmud, whatever you name it, um, tells you that you can you can be the light or you can be the famine. No, don't be killing him in God's name. Nowadays we have people bringing awareness to everything. Yeah, it's good to be aware, but do something about it. Give me the solution. I consistently preach that have fun, explore. Don't be sitting there looking for how you can fix yourself, because now we have so much access that by now, if I went by everything that Google has to advertise or every advertise, it's not one size fits all. It's like with the system Thrive. I've had to educate myself, and I'm still like on 5 months of it, and I keep asking questions and questions and questions and questions and questions. That's the researcher inside me. See, I found that I am naturally a researcher. I cannot only like give you a psychic message. I can also research things, look it up, Google it, uh, get into a new hobby. I noticed ever since I quit smoking and before, I've always like researched stuff. And even when I was a kid, I was already doing it, but I wasn't so aware of it. But I'm becoming more and more and more aware of it. That kid inside me that was and still is just as smart. And every job that I went to, I did it because it was me. Yeah, sure. At the beginning, I thought I was the one hired, and oh my God, I had to pay attention. But um, to what the boss said, and abide by the rules and so forth, and so I did. And sometimes I broke them, but they liked the way I broke the rules, because a lot of people who were actually people, they actually appreciated me for what I did. And if that job didn't work out, I went to another one. I created my own life until like in 1990s I decided to go off film finishing, because I used to like to do artwork, and I learned how to create works of art with what do you call it? And I started part time, holding my full time job in hospitality. And this could happen to you too. You could be working at a job and doing something part time. And like I said with the book, I didn't even read. I only read pieces of it. Maybe I'll get it again, just to reread it to see what it says. Do what you love, and the money will follow. And at first, sell small ticket items, or how much, or may value how much if you want to sell big ticket items. How much money can you accept to make? How much do you feel your worth is? Because sometimes we're afraid to make too much. What is too much? But we certainly do complain when we get charged, and lately, money is a necessary good. Okay, and emphasize the word, a necessary good in this world right now. It may change the way we change. I've seen prophecies of things to happen, but I'm not going to sit here and wait until the prophecies come true, because the prophecies are coming from an inner source that or a psychic message, or and so forth. It's not going to happen while you're sitting waiting. And don't sit and wait to enjoy life when it happens. Start enjoying it right now. And blog, write it out. Self-expression is one of the most beautiful things that arts that you can do. And don't worry if your punctuation just is correct or not. Just go ahead and go with it. You can always fix it. Sometimes I'm guilty of going ahead and trying to make autocorrect or something like that. And pretty much when you write it, sometimes it goes in red and you correct it and so forth, and that's it. I authored a book. I didn't even know I was going to author a book. I've been on a bicycle at the age of 49, coming back from having fun, Halloween, no drinks, of course, because you're on a bicycle, you have to drive back. And I was doing 5 miles. And I'm about to have a birthday. And I'm pretty much loving everything that I do, but I'm pretty much coming to a change of life. And every so often you feel like this change is upon you. I remember when I worked, for several places, I want you to get motivated. I want you to write. Because when you're writing, you get a lot more clear. Your head gets a lot more clear, especially in this day and age where everybody is in such a hurry to not hug, not say hello. You worry about the hacker. You worry about. I mean, I'm going along as far as what people tell me in my world, and like I said, there's no fancy name. And when I woke up this morning, I embraced it. At 5 in the morning, I embraced it and I said, okay, we're going to start our day early. We've been resting. I hurt my ribs too. Jesus, I've been a calamity lately. Am I going to wonder, am I hacked? Am I blocked? Are my chakras not aligned? Or anything like that? Okay. Okay, I did shave for you. But other than that, and I shave for me because this is the way I want to present myself. But this is who I am. I don't want you to be anything different other than you. Really you. And that's what I really help people be. And I've helped from the happy client, the one that didn't commit suicide, to the one whose son died, and to the one who thrived and made it successful, and and went to and I always had sometimes, like, I always had an extra sense. So it gives me the facility to help you on a regular basis without just by giving you advice, rather than, as long as you follow it. If you don't do it, like they say, if you take a horse to water, uh, and it won't drink, then what's the point? I don't like to waste energy or time, okay, and or waste my breath, because it's sacred to me. Okay, we need to breathe, don't we? So anyhow, I hope that you all agreed with and like I said, knock down the walls that you feel that that there's a God inside you that's gonna go ahead of you, within you, and throughout you, and that I got it from Unity, and I'm glad I went to the Unity Basics, because the Unity Basics class is just basics, but the base always return to basics, and even get down on your knees to God and say, okay, I've had it up to here, or whatever way you want, and have a personal relationship. Regardless what I channel for you, you channel for you. I know I'm accurate. I know that what I do goes boom. I teach empowerment. I am a Melchizedek. I have all these titles and names that have been given to me by channel messages, and I accept them all, and I'm grateful for them. But today, and nowadays, my new format is really, I want to let loose. Whatever subject comes up, I want to go ahead and be able to blog it, and I don't want you to think that I am any different than you are. But like I said, it's not one size fits all. Like maybe the Black Label is not for the one for you, although I think it happened to be in the Thrive system. You don't have to buy the Thrive system. Or if you can afford 1 month, go for it. Ask me for the link. I would love to sell it. Why not? Because I know it's working for me, and I've got like 9 months worth of it. I'm on an automatic shipment. I got 10 months of it. As a matter of fact, I got a packet right now for women, because it comes with women capsules and men's capsules. And what I read in that whole system is, but basically, actually some women take the men's capsules because it only has 5% more of the ingredients, but it's pure nutrients. Yesterday I wanted to nap, so I decided to take a break. I'm already past the first 3 months. Once you get the first 2 months, you can go ahead and take some breaks. especially if you don't need that much energy. And I'm gonna need to relax. And but I can't move like big stuff right now with the way my ribs are. But I can see I could do a live, and I just typed it and amen, amen, and amen. Just have the faith. Put some faith in and when your mind gets too busy, take some walks. It could be in nature. You may live like in a city like me, and have. I enjoy seeing people and talking to people. I'm social. You may be different. You may like to retreat, but you don't stay there too long. Um, if you have a radio show, there's great radio shows to attend to. I happen to love online, to be honest with you, Sarah Spiritual. She's been great. For a while there, I liked Merging Spirit, Sharon Shaw. She stopped doing radio. I kind of got lost track, but there's always something new to do. If you can't go ahead and attend a church or an event, there's always places you can go to online and do workshops. I've created my own temple. I have a place back there. I recently decided that okay, I want to clear this whole place. I don't want my whole place to look like a temple. Why? Why do you want a temple, an altar, a place where you feel, in other words, more focused, more concentrated, not so spread out that it looks like you live in an ashram or something like that. That's the reason why we go to ashrams or we go to other places like that. So, not to put it down, but it's wonderful to have a little place that you can concentrate and meditate on or pray or whatever. But like I said, you can pray anywhere. And that's what we're letting go of in this year. And I'm speaking to you the truth of my being and the best that I can do. Because, folks, I started learning when I was 22. I would say something like that. And kind of liked it, and I read it more, and I read it more, and I read it more, and then towards the end, opening to channel and books like The Celestine Prophecy and Conversations with God and Edgar Casey and Sidney Omar, which I missed his little astrology books. They were so simple. And there's many books that I still have because I would love to have a library. And I like them where they're all torn up and used, because you've really read them and they feel cozy for some reason. That's what I like to do. And those are the kind of things that I like to do, like doing my hair, different color. To me, it's my relaxation. Pamper yourself. Yesterday, I was kind of tired, a little bit in pain from the ribs, whatever. Take time for you. And I hope that you get something out of this. And if you need to contact me, I live in the Hallandale, Fort Lauderdale area. 954 744 Make an appointment to see me for a sample session if you want to. And see what advice I can have for you. You're all individuals, and I don't share because I learned that you cannot share. When I graduated in I took psychology, and you're not allowed to share your private, whatever your private session is. It's your private moment, and we're not also to become friends with our clients, because then we become entangled in your problem, and then we can't solve it for you, because then we start worrying about you, and that's the reason why you feel blocked. It's because your own worry thought is blocking you, and that's when you want clarification, somebody to tell you, because you have so much in your head going on, and that's really what's going on. And you can always pray for about it. God, clear me up, and He'll find you the clear. Anyhow, it has gone to 29 minutes or so of speaking. But go to the Reverend Joey Manuel page, even though I will post this on that page as well. And it's going to be on my YouTube as well, because I feel I can reach a lot more people through that. I love you for today. I'm glad that I was here to... There's a lot more on the blog about a story. How I was asked by a minister to write my story one time when going through a hard time 18 years ago. And she said, make an appointment with me. And I may ask you to do the same thing when you're done with the story, she said. What happened? I started to write my pity story. And lo and behold, well, this is strange. Lo and behold, before I even got done with that story, I got tired of the story. And that's what's going to happen with all of us. We get bored and tired of the same old story. And it's good to make new goals, new aspirations, maybe dabble into what's coming for you. Get a psychic message here and there. Pull a card. If you don't get a live feed, because now there's so many lives, they're great. I just told you one is excellent. Shallow Stanley, Sharon Shaw. Well, she hasn't been doing lives, but she's doing live psychic fairs. Um, and they're all on Facebook, and Sarah Spiritual is just about everywhere. And I like her because she actually can meet me at my level. I've had to wean it down because too many messages can bombard you, and you need to take some time to process. I love every single person and what they do, and when you're psychic and you decide to take a psychic break, then because we all have a sixth sense. Then you want somebody else to do it because it's carrying on a lot of stuff. And sometimes when you're a psychic, people think it's very simple. It just comes out like that, which it does. But when you're on a one-on-one basis, you're actually listening to everybody else's problems, and there's a way to go ahead and get rid of them and process them through you. I even here took on, because I've been trained to take on as much energy from the person as possible, so I can release them, especially when they're new, and then be able to release it. Is it fun? No, but it lasts me a lot less time than it does sometimes the person that I'm seeing. And I do this as a service that I kind of like. When you help yourself, you help others, and then basically when you learn to master different situations in your life, you can pass it on to other people. And this is one thing that I've learned. I don't think that I will ever completely give up my psyche, and because I've gotten used to it. It's like a sense that I have that I can't shut off. But I can put it on break and say, hey, time out. Give me a break. Give me a chance. I go through situations too, and I go, okay, well, what do you want from me next, God? And I usually get the answer in one way or another. But anyhow, God bless you. Namaste. I hope you enjoy reading the Reverend Joey Manuel Page, and get the best out of it. Diet is good. The lighter the diet, I've noticed that I'm getting up there. So I'm looking into my health, my future. There are some youngsters out there that don't understand that, yes, yeah, sometimes healthy eating choices can give you a healthier, uh, less medicated life. And I want you to have faith and trust and have fun in the new age again. It's new age. You know, stop looking for another problem because it becomes a habit. And that's what's going to make you sick and miserable. Looking for another problem or accepting taking on somebody else's problem that's not yours. Namaste. Greetings whenever you're reading this. Good day, good night, good afternoon. I bid you adieu.